Yeah, we are going to be right now.
Awesome.
What's going on, Turf Talk? It's me, Richard Donahue, and no Landon today. We're here with TD Fins Talk, 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. What's going on? How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm just glad to be here, man. I'm excited. I love what you guys are doing, building something special, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this has been in the making for a couple months, but I'm really excited to have you on. It's going to be a really fun episode. Talk about some off season. It's gonna be great.
Let's do it.
All right. So this was my first thing. I had this written down probably about a week ago. But how do you feel about the Marcus May signing?
The Marcus May signing is exactly what we needed in the secondary. One of the things that I've been preaching, because I'm kind of done like cheerleading for the team until they do all the moves necessary for us to be real contenders and Super Bowl contenders. And something that I've said is what the Miami Dolphins need is secondary depth at the safety position and maybe even a corner. We need an interior defensive line depth. And we need offensive line starters, in my opinion, the interior offensive line. So I just love that they're starting to actually hit the areas that I see we need to address. So Marcus May, guy who, got in a little bit of trouble last year off the field, didn't play the full season, but when he's on the field, he's productive. He's a good piece. He's a nice piece for the Miami Dolphins to bring in. You already got Holland, Poyer, and those guys. So I love it. I actually think it's one of the underrated moves of the offseason. And again, all you have to do is eliminate any excuses, and this will do that. So if a safety goes down, we got another guy that we feel comfortable with stepping up, stepping in.
Yeah, I agree. I think them as a whole, that safety core is actually developing into like a really nice core where obviously you have Javon Holland, who's a stud, but then you add Jordan Poyer, and now you add Marcus May, two vets that can help all of the rookies and like everything. Because we got the new rookie, the 6th-round pick. We got Jev. We have a bunch of depth at corner that are a bunch of young pieces. I heard Nick Needham's going back to safety. So you add all of those up. I honestly think that it's going to be a better room of the league. I mean, definitely not in the top, but it's going to be better than the average, which is, I mean, that's what you're looking for. I thought that safety was a need. I thought that edge was a need because of Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips going down. I also thought that we needed line. It seems like as of now they're ignoring the offensive line, but I'm sure they're going to make a move eventually. They signed Calais Campbell, who we'll talk about next. I just feel like in previous years they haven't really hit on players and positions that I thought we needed, but now they actually are. I'm like, all right, we need safety and we need edge, and they got out and they got two vets that have some really good experience, especially Calais Campbell. So I like the move. I think the Marcus May move is actually super good for us. It's going to be, just like you said, one of the more underrated signings when we look back this year. As long as he can stay healthy. I mean, I think he hasn't had a full season since 2021, but I mean, that's not really what we're looking for. It's the same with the OBJ signing, in my opinion. We're not needing you with a starting role. It's kind of more of a, we want you when we need you, and if someone goes down, we know that you can come in. So I really like the move.
Yeah, I love him too. Like you had mentioned, Calais Campbell. I think it's the most underrated move of the entire offseason. This guy's still playing at a high level, like one of the best in the entire NFL at the position. And I think that's what we needed. Yeah, he's not going to replace Christian Wilkins long term, but he can replace Christian Wilkins right now.
Yeah.
And we're in a window right now where we have to go after it and take advantage of this season. So I love the Calais Campbell move, man. It's my favorite move. Dominant. I was concerned about our run stopping abilities because I know that we have a lot of guys that aren't as great in run stopping. Even Chop Robinson isn't the best, run stopper. A lot of people don't know that, but and hopefully he develops into one. But adding Calais Campbell, man, this is why I said these are the moves that's moving the needle for me. I'm very, like, I've been a Dolphin fan my whole life, so I'm very pessimistic. They've created this in me. And the moves we've made as of recent with May and Calais Campbell is starting to make me like, ooh, are they about to allow me to be optimistic again? And I'll say this too. We still got to address this interior O-line. I don't want to go to war with this same unit. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. You look at some of the film of our biggest moments and why we failed, a lot of them point to them as well. So good move, Greer. Please don't be done. Make two more moves, interior O-line and maybe another corner if you like, so.
I do like Isaiah Wynn, but like when he was healthy, he was run blocking like a beast. I'm very concerned about the right guard position and also as of now center too. Hopefully we can get Connor Williams back if he decides to play again. He was playing like one of the best in the league, but who knows if he can come back from the injury and a bunch of stuff. It's going to be really concerning. Oh, Landon's in here.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll add him up. Hold on.
What's up, Landon?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Landon?
He said Lando. How are you, man? I heard you getting some rounds in.
Yeah, are you golfing? I saw you were at the Meadows.
No, I'm not golfing. I was swimming.
Oh, you're not golfing? What are you doing?
I'm at Oakens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're swimming. All right.
Yeah,
nice.
I forgot we were filming today.
Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, VJC said, I think the Dolphins could be contenders. Well, I mean, you never know until it actually happens, in my opinion. But it's looking like the team's starting to stack up, especially
the Dolphins are so bad. Richard, the Dolphins suck.
I don't know. I mean, we've gotten better. The Bills have gotten a lot worse.
Oh, you did not get better.
How did you get better, bro?
What do you?
Yo, how did you get better?
What team does he like? What team does he like?
Bills.
The Bills.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
Hey.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hey, that shit off T-Move.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, when it comes to the Bills, I don't see how they've gotten better at all this offseason.
Younger. They got younger.
They got younger. But have they gotten better?
No, it had
Less
to happen. You had to eventually do that. You can't just keep these old players forever. It was a lot of money. You got to free up money for the future. So I'm fine with the Bills doing it now because it was either you do it now, next year, or the year after. So you might as well get out of the way.
Yeah, but are they going to be able to mesh year one, like with all these new players? Is it going to be the same team, or are we going to be able to take the year? I mean,
I don't know. It might start. It might start slow, but once these guys could get going, and we still have veteran presidents. I mean, Mike Edwards, you won 3 Super Bowls. Good safety to have there. He has a lot of experience. Rasul Douglas and Taron Johnson are both veterans, so that's good. Christian Benford was a stud last year, and hopefully he can just get better. Still got Von Miller on the D-line, another great experienced guy. The D-line really didn't change at all, except for drafted some rookies and signed some older guys, but other than
sounds like 8 wins. Sounds like 8 wins to me.
8
I mean,
and 9.
if you want to think like that, you can think like that. But don't be shocked when we're winning the division.
All right,
No, it's not happening this year.
I really don't see it. I mean, honestly, it's starting to look like the Jets might even have it over the Bills. I don't know. Jets aren't. They're not the best, but I don't think they're gonna have a losing season.
Richard, didn't you say the Dolphins were gonna win last year too?
Yeah, what happened?
Injuries.
Injuries
happen to the Bills every year. We had injuries.
We had so many more.
No, they didn't.
Injuries. They destroyed our
In
season.
the very beginning, we had nobody. We lost everybody.
I mean, yeah, we were in the playoffs with AJ Klein.
What do you think about the
Covering
Bills?
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, we had no back.
What was that?
What do you think about the Bills?
The Bills this year?
Yeah.
They're in trouble. Replacing Stephon Diggs is impossible right now. You also have to look at the fact that they're asking Dalton Kincaid to become Travis Kelce. Not going to happen. Josh Allen doesn't have his safety net anymore. He'll still be productive when he uses his legs, but he'll go back to year 1 and year 2 Josh Allen. Outside of that, they'll be solid because Josh Allen will carry him as much as he can, but they could really end up with 8 wins. If they win a division this year, then it's the biggest shame on the Dolphins and the Jets known to man. It's the biggest shame ever. If the Bills win the division again, I'm embarrassed.
I agree. I mean, I don't see a world how the Bills win it, but if they do, I mean, it's gonna be really ashamed on my part because of how much I'm bragging about the Dolphins. I mean, I see these moves and it's really making me excited for the first time in a while. I mean, I was excited last year, but I'm just way more excited this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys are talking all this offense. You still got a Sean McDermott defense. I mean, defense wins championships. As long as that can stay healthy, I'm confident. Even if the offense takes a while to really like get its place going, I think our defense can keep us competitive.
But you're young in the secondary.
Yeah.
And until they click like Poyer and all of those guys did, and on top of it, Poyer is a Dolphin. We got the inside scoop on what you like to do.
No, I honestly, I think you are underestimating how much Poyer and Hyde and even Tre'Davious White did for your DB core.
I'm not underestimating that. All three of those are legends, but Tre'Davious White couldn't stay on the field. Hyde also couldn't stay on the field, and if he's playing for one more team, he's playing for the Bills. He came out and said that. Poyer is a big loss leadership-wise, and he's a great tackler, but you could see at the end of the year, he got slower, and he's never been like – I like how our safeties are now because Cole Bishop, he's like a Poyer player. He's a great tackler. It's just can he get there with how young he is?
Well, time will tell.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's going to be a toss-up, in my opinion, between the Jets and the Dolphins. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he does Aaron Rodgers things, and I'm not talking about being good. The Calais Campbell signing really excited me. I saw that, and I thought it was a great signing, and then I looked more into it, and I realized how good of a signing it actually was. Calais Campbell had 7.5 sacks last year. The year before that, he had 6, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he is very productive. He's playing that run-stop role with pass production. I mean, I don't think you could get very better than that. And then I know Landon wanted him on the Bills. He said he was comfortable with it, with the Bills as of now, but he said he did want Calais Campbell. And I think with Anthony Weaver matching back up with that Ravens like type of scheme, it's gonna be a really fun year for Calais Campbell.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on the details of the contract, see how much he end up costing us. But yeah, I love the deal. I think it's a good one. Just for Miami to really get a guy who can fill Christian Wilkins' shoes for on a temporary basis. So we'll see how that all works out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Landon, what do you think about it? I mean, I haven't really gotten your take. I didn't ask.
Well, I mean, I said when you asked about free agents and like the Bills with the people who are left, the main guy that stood out to me was Calais Campbell, just because he's a really like McDermott kind of player. I mean, he had he met with the Bills last free agency, and I mean, I do like the move for the Dolphins. It's a great veteran to have there, like you said, really good run stopper. But I mean, it's kind of just you don't know when like he can't go anymore. I mean, he's 37. I don't know when he turns 38, but if he turns 38 in the season, and you have to end up relying on a 38-year-old to do it all for you. That was the thing with the Bills. I mean, we have a lot of D-tackle depth.
That's the thing, though, is we don't even need him to do it all. We're putting him in this small role. We're going to do a little bit more in the beginning of the season, waiting for Phillips and Chubb to get fully healthy. And then he's going to be, towards the end of the year, just mainly a run stopper. And I trust him, if it is a pass, to go and get the quarterbacks. I think it's going to be a really good depth signing. I don't think we need him to do it all, and if that makes sense.
Well, I'm just saying with like the Bills D-line depth-wise. Bills have a lot of like D-line depth. And I don't know what the Dolphins' depth looks like, but I don't know if it's as deep as the Bills, but we got younger guys on that interior D-line, which is a plus for us for the future.
Well, TD, how would you describe like the Dolphins' defense and depth in general? I think our D tackles are decent. You can't forget about Zach Sealer. I mean, he's just as good as, well, not just as good as Christian Wilkins, but he's right up there.
Defensive end, well, you also have to look at the type of defense we run, the type of system. So, really our outside linebackers. So our, defensive ends. So, but in our system, the defensive end is the edge of the interior. So when we say defensive end, what we're really talking about is Chubb, Phillips, and all of those guys, Chop. So at the end of the day, the defensive end position is strong. So defensive end / linebacker. I love that position But when we talk about the interior defensive line, I am not happy. Zeeler, yes. Calais Campbell, yes. Outside of that is a whole bunch of guys. So our main core will be fine, but depth in that area, we just gotta let it play out. We gotta let that play out. But the edge, we're gonna get up at these quarterbacks. We got, and especially when Phillips and Chubb come back from injury, we're gonna be loaded. We're gonna be loaded. We're gonna just like, who should we have on the field? So we're gonna be a real problem.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a world where I see a 14 sack season from Phillips if he can come back. There's a lot of guys I could see over 10. It's exciting. Chop Robinson was my favorite edge in the entire class, and he ended up coming to the Miami Dolphins. That was a great draft.
Yeah.
You still have Mohamed Kamara, who a lot of people don't know about, but is actually a freak. He's coming. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's coming out hard. It's going to be a really fun year to see how these guys can get to the quarterback. Last year, you saw it. They were, I think, second in the NFL in sacks. I mean, the only loss we really had was Wilkins, and then the injuries. I'm really excited to see how it ends up happening.
I think one of the mysteries, what type of system are we going to see with Weaver? How impactful is it going to be? So when we look at last year's stats, I really don't pay much mind to it, because if we're switching things up, we got to see what this new system is going to behold. Because now you're going to have a lot of guys on islands, potentially, like, the corners and things of that nature. So we got to see, how is the system going to affect that? So I can't wait. I
trust our corners enough where I know that Ramsey could go out on an island. He's done it so many times. I know that I've seen Kendall Fuller do it, and his PFF grades are elite, and just seeing how he can go in a cornerback 2 role. I'm worried about Kohu, but he did have his best year in the slot. I'm pretty sure it was Byron and X. I'm very excited though. I think that our DBs are going to shock the world. There's a lot of changes in this DB room that, I mean, we lost Brandon Jones. You had Jordan Poyer, Marcus May, lose X. I mean, I'm really excited though. I think this DB room is going to be a top DB room. We should have a decent.
I hope so. Fuller's going to determine that, because although he can cover, he gives up a lot of touchdowns. So will he be giving up the big plays? So that's what I'm waiting to see. But overall, I think we're in a good place. Again, it's all going to be predicated on what does Anthony Weaver's system look like with this personnel. What does Anthony Weaver bring to the table in that regard? And that's what the mystery is.
Yeah. I think Anthony Weaver can bring something that we haven't had in a long time in Miami. It's that grit. It's that Baltimore style of, like, just put your head down, work, do what you got to do. We don't want all that flashy stuff. And in a Miami town, a city like Miami, I think that's what we need, is an Anthony Weaver. So I'm really confident in his ability. We're going to see how he does. I mean, this is how I feel. Finally positive. I'm really excited about this Dolphins team.
Good times. They're making some good moves. So just fix the interior O-line, please, Greer. And I think that this will be the best roster that we've had.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with you, TD, and then we'll go to Lynn, and then I'll finally finish it up with this. But what's your AFC East predictions, best to worst? So number 1 through number 4.
Oh, man, with May and Calais Campbell coming to Miami, I have us number 1. I'm still on the edge. I'm around about 10.5 wins, because we're going to be beating up on each other. It's going to be tough. I have the Jets number 2 at 10 wins. I have Buffalo number 3, 8.5 wins, in that range. And I got the Patriots obviously at 4 with 3 to 4 wins.
I like that. It sounds good to me. Landon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Bills in first. I believe in the team. I believe in McDermott's defense, and I believe that with Joe Brady having a full year at offensive coordinator, he'll get the run game down and the pass game. Hoping to see some RPOs too. With now that we got guys who aren't Diggs who drop the RPO every single time. But I'll put the Dolphins at 2. Well, Bills, I say it's either 10 to 12 wins for me. And then I'll put Dolphins at 2. Again, 10 to 12 wins for them. I just think the Bills get the edge. I mean, Josh Allen owns the Fins.
Can't really argue much there.
Yeah, we can't say
Jets,
anything yet.
Jets, I'll give it. Well, even if the season ends, you guys sweep us. Josh Allen is still 11-4 against you guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Worse than
Still
that,
owns you.
actually.
yeah, I think it might be worse than that.
So I'll say the Jets at 3. I think they're gonna get super overhyped. They'll be 8. They'll go 8-9. I mean, they traded for Hassan Reddick, and he has not gone to a single thing. He hasn't even talked to Robert Saleh, and I think Robert Saleh is overrated anyway. I just don't think they're gonna have any team chem. It's gonna be one of those teams that they got all these stars, but they won't produce because they have 0 team chem. And then Patriots at 4. I think it'll be a 5 to 6 win season, but it'll be like a fresh one for the Patriots. They'll be excited for the future.
Hey, I mean, I like your takes, other than the Bills at 1. I'm not very confident in the Jets either. Finsanity, this is exactly how I'm doing it. Dolphins 1. I'm going to go 13 to 10 wins. I think it's going to be a high ceiling, low floor, lowish. Then I'm going to go Buffalo 2, because somehow they always end up at the top of the division. I mean, I got to just do it. I don't believe in the Jets at all. I really don't. I don't believe in the Jets at all. So I'm going to go Buffalo 2. We're going to say 11 wins max, and then I can't see them getting less than 9. But I don't know. I'm sure that they go around 11 to 9. We're going to go Jets here. I'm going to go at number 3 with 10. Again, Hassan Reddick, there's a lot of drama with that. There's a lot of drama with Aaron Rodgers. He went to the non-mandatory stuff, and now he's missing the mandatory stuff. It's weird. We're just going to give them like a 10 to 8 win season, and then the Patriots, I can't see them winning more than 5 games. I'm not a big Drake May guy. Patriots last. And yeah, Landon is a Bills fan. I mean,
I agree with that guy who said I make good points. Most ball knowledge here.
Hey, 26 viewers. What's going on, everyone? Make sure to like and subscribe. We got TD in here. It's going to be one of our best episodes. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, especially for Landon, because you had a good showing of him. TD, what do you think about Devon Achane going into this year?
Pro Bowl, maybe comeback player of the year because he got hurt last year. He'll be better than Breece Hall and Cook. I just think that this is the breakout year. I got him at 1,500 rushing yards and about 600 receiving yards, and doing it all by committee with Mostert sharing reps and stuff. So I got really high expectations. I want him to pick up where he left off last year. I wish he was able to finish what he did last year and show everybody what those numbers were headed to, man. I just hate that he didn't play the full season, but I love what he brings to the table. His speed gets to that second level, it's over. And he got a little breaking tackle ability that people ignore. So I love the fact that we have a future running back we can count on. We just got to keep him healthy.
Yeah. And you don't think that Jalen Wright's going to take from that production? I like the signing. I mean, the draft, it's one of my favorite moves, honestly. We have, after Mostert's done, we have for the next 2 to 3 years a really good duo.
Yeah, but Wright isn't going to get the reps like people think. He's for the future. There's no rush. He's Mostert's replacement. So they rewarded Mostert last year and gave him some more money, and they're going to play that out this year because of all the production that he gave. Mostert gets hurt. Mostert is no more after this season. Whatever happens, but Mostert, they rewarded Mostert for what he's done, but he's not in the long-term plans. He's getting older. So Wright is the future. Devon Achane is the guy who's going to be a steady force running the ball, but people underestimate they're going to use him more in the pass game, out of the slot, jet sweeps, everything. He's going to be the Swiss Army knife for the Dolphins, okay? So Wright's going to ease himself into it. Wright's going to get on the field on 3rd and short, Wright's going to get some reps, but they're not going to use him as the primary back unless injuries take place. And he'll easily go into his role for the future. It's that simple. So
Yeah.
I don't look at him having a big impact other than coming in and getting some first downs and stuff for us in short down and distance situations.
I like that. I never really thought about it like that. I thought we were gonna have like a 1-2-3 punch, but the way that you explained it, that sounds pretty appetizing to me. So Landon, what do you think about Devon Achane for this upcoming year?
I think Devon Achane should 100% be taking the starting snaps at running back. I mean, he has so much explosion. I mean, it's so hard to stop him. I mean, you saw even in both the Bills games, he was almost unstoppable for McDermott's defense. I mean, I can't think. There's not much ways to stop that, like, pure speed. He has great ball carrier vision. He can make a man miss. I mean, he's a really good running back, and it sucks to say it, but he's really good.
Hey, I mean, I agree. I think when it comes down to the totem pole of running backs, it's got to be Devon Achane up there with number one. I think he has so much potential. He really can break out into a top 3 to top 5 back. I mean, look at what he did his first game against the Bills. He had like 150. The next game, his second game ever, he has over 230 yards against the Broncos. And that's not just the Broncos. You can't just do that as a rookie. I mean, he had the best game out of any skill position on the Dolphins. So 4 touchdowns that game. I think he's going to ball. I really do.
Me too. I think this is a huge season for him. I just need him to do his thing. I believe in him.
Yeah. 26 people in here. Make sure to sub. Chris Brooks is going to ball out. I'm a good, like, I like Chris Brooks. I just don't think he can do it because of how many running backs we have on the roster. I think maybe he could go somewhere else and do something productive. But, I mean, what do you think about Chris Brooks?
Again, when your opportunity presents itself, show up. He's a developmental piece for the future. We know he was great for us in preseason, but let's not stretch it out too much past that. You know, a lot of guys are great during the preseason. Achane proved himself. Brooks will have an opportunity to prove himself. It's no different than the San Francisco 49ers way of doing business. They get 3 nice running backs and they keep them in rotation. And once one becomes too expensive, they move on from them and keep. I think under McDaniel, we will always have good running backs now. Yeah. Remember, we were begging the last few years, draft the running back 3 years ago. Yeah. So, you know, look, we don't have to spend high capital on the running back position like that. We will be in good hands at the running back position for years to come now. So that's where I'm at with it. I love where we are. We're good.
Yeah. No, I agree. And as Steve said, who do you think is going to get cut? I think it's got to be, I mean, the odd men out were Jeff Wilson coming into this season. And I think, honestly, Chris Brooks is in there too. I mean, we need to free up space. You can only sign 3 to 4 guys. I mean, maybe Chris Brooks could go in as like a fullback role, but we already have Al Gingold. I don't see him like making the route. Maybe the practice squad though. I mean, I don't know. We have a lot of depth, especially at skill positions. So I'm not really sure here, but the one thing that I do want to touch on right before we end is Aaron Rodgers will miss all of the team's mandatory minicamps, and Hassan Reddick has not shown up to any mandatory minicamps to date. So I just have it in parentheses, Jets poverty. What's going on with them? I mean, they make that big move to get Hassan Reddick, and Aaron Rodgers is doing Aaron Rodgers things. What is happening? What do you think?
Well, Aaron Rodgers, he's fine. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't show much concern with guys who've been there, done that, veterans who's performed at a high level. They know, it's not a big deal. I kind of concern myself with young guys doing this where every rep matters. You need to be there with your guys. He's seen it all, done it all. That's not a big deal. Hassan Reddick came out and said, stop believing everything. We're going to take it there, but let's see if he shows up in training camp. That's when you get alarmed and wonder, is there an issue? Because the Dolphins, we had a lot of players that didn't participate in these things. You know, our whole receiving core barely participated, our big guys. So it's not a big deal until training camp comes. Whoever doesn't show up then or whoever's on the side holding out, that's the real story, in my opinion.
Yeah. Landon, what do you think about the Jets?
I mean, like I said earlier, I don't think they're a team. They got all these star players, but I just don't think that they're gonna have the team morale that you'd want them to have. I mean, I saw Reddick. Does he even have a contract? Is that why he's not there?
No, I think he does. He got a new contract
Did
when he
he?
got
Did
traded.
they sign him to a new one? Then why is he not there?
I don't know. I mean, that's the question. I think we've experienced it firsthand. You can't have a bunch of individuals. You need a team that meshes together. So if the Jets, I mean, this is something that I was thinking was going to happen to Miami originally when we got Ramsey, Hill, a lot of big contracts, and it ended up we meshed perfectly. Well, at least we did last year. Do the Jets mesh together as a team is going to be the big question. You have a lot of big names. You have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Rodgers. Now you look on the defensive side. I mean, they had a top 5 defense last year. Who knows what they're going to end up doing this year? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, but I'm not a big Saleh fan. Are you a Saleh fan? Because I don't.
He hasn't done nothing. Yeah, exactly. He hasn't done anything. Let's see what this year he has no excuse. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I really appreciate you coming on today. This was by far our best performing live. We had 30 people in at the peak. So everyone make sure you subscribe and like. TD, it's been a pleasure. I'm really happy we got you on. It's been a couple months in the making, though, but I'm very excited for the future, and hopefully we could have you on again later down.
Absolutely, man. Hit me up. Hopefully we can work together again. Landon, nice to meet you. Nice to meet both of you guys. Keep grinding, doing your thing, and keep providing the people with great content. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, we will. Have a good one, TD.
You too. All right, guys.
All right, peace. I'm Richard Donahue, and I'm here with
Landon Stuziak.
We're signing out. Have a good one, Turf Talk. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.